Sure, that is ongoing. It's not something you can achieve just one day. I'm saying what we did first was, first of all, to train about 450 youths who acquired that, who now bought into the entire idea. And then we still have the consultants resident here. Those consultants go, by plantation, from one plantation to another. And the government had to support, because the chemicals for spraying had to be supplied by the government. Even those consultants are paid by the government at this initial stage.
May I ask, where did you get the consultants from?
They're all Africans.
Why I ask, because I do know that the Ministry of Agriculture has extension workers. Are you involving them in this process?
Well, you see, that's a different discussion, actually, because I don't want to, I said when I set up technical committees, I was trying to, veer off a little from, the norms over time. Oh, ministry must do it this way, civil service must do it that way. I'm bringing people that I want to measure them by result. So those people, our approach will be totally different. Because by the time you start writing letters to the ministry, the responses will take 3 months. Time does not wait for anybody. But the technical committee I'm putting in place may not even need to write a letter. A phone call to a consultant who helped any of the West African countries, the guy will be in the next flight. He knows that it's a professional calling him. And he doesn't, once he comes here, he does his job, he gets paid, and then off he goes. So we are more result-oriented in the approach now. So that's why probably I didn't want to follow that trend. Because, as I said, you need to work on the mindset of the people. You need to let people know that this can work.
Let's talk about that mindset. You had this, there was a time you launched something called Dakada.
Absolutely.
Are the Akwa Ibomites buying into this mindset?
The answer is yes. One of the most successful, in fact, the marketing company I used at the initial stage said that they had never had that kind of experience in recent past because of the success of the program. You see, it goes beyond just what you say. It must go into what people hear you say.
What was it about?
It's about, a spiritual rebirth. That, look, every man, once the passion is right, nothing is impossible. That you must also rise to your potential. Why do we have to go about this? This is a state. During long vacation, you just organize a field and track event, for, young secondary school students. In that, within that short period, you pick the likes of Aniakeme, who will now win 200 meters, race, Commonwealth gold medalist, today for Nigeria, came out of this. And this also is a state where you have a whole lot of talent. So what we are telling people that what you have is all that you need to make a difference in the whole world. And also, nobody has the monopoly of God. Those that made it do not have two heads. The only difference is that the attitude, the approach, and the systemic way of doing things will actually allow that discipline for you to get focused. So without actually lifting a finger. So that's the essence of the Dakada, that bringing discipline. Just look at the approach. Don't keep doing things the same way we're doing over the years. We won't get that result. That you need to believe in yourself. That man that you're looking forward to, that after all, I don't want to mention names of countries. There are certain countries that if you see what they eat, they didn't eat those things because they love them. They ate those things from those days because their population forced them to go into, getting inside the bush. Any leaf they see, they can actually boil and start eating. They see bamboo shoots that here we don't even bother about it. And it becomes a delicacy. So that condition must actually shape your mind towards knowing that whatsoever you have is all that you need to actually be like any other place in the whole world. I've seen places in this whole world, the whole place is mountainous area. They drill a tunnel through the mountain and trains are moving there. The question is, they didn't just sit down and wait and say, oh my God, how did you bring us here? Mountains everywhere, not to talk of us that we have all that we need. So that's the essence of the Dakada, that people must rise to the fact that all that they need is what they have, and they can actually be great with that.
I asked that question about the mindset because the norm out there, or the belief out there, is that there's this dependent, or how do you call it? Entitlement mentality.
Absolutely.
I mean, the politicians have come in, they've been taking our money, they've been collecting huge remunerations. It's my turn, so I need to get something. How's that working out here?
You see, everything boils down to leadership. People follow their leaders. if you come in and let people know that you're coming in to serve. And let me also bring you back a little home, because I won't speak as my state. These are states that about 99.99% are Christians. So it is so easy to draw an analogy from, Christian background, and people will follow you simply. You get in here, you let the people know that even David in the Bible said so, that the Bible says that David served his generation. And when I discuss this service with the people, it's very easy to use any of the Bible literature or history, and people will understand you much better. I draw an example that even during the disciples of Jesus Christ, when he was feeding 5,000, and he gave them something to feed the multitudes that were listening to the gospel, that those disciples did not eat it first. What they did first was to serve those people that came to listen to the gospel. That as a leader, why must you be the first to look after yourself? Whereas you're supposed to look at the people first before you look at yourself. So some of these principles, and I keep telling them that most of these leadership principles are everywhere that we live on a daily basis. And we also speak about it. So once people see where their leader is going to, they must follow their leader as well. So I came in here with a whole lot of, personal sacrifice. I let people know that economy, times, and everything may not allow certain things to go the way they were going. I call on the youths. I said, look, can we change? I want to make you to earn a living and not to beg for a living. So let's work on it. And that's the Dakada principle. You must rise to the faith above what others see in you, both human and intellectual. That's number one. Then number two, I said, can we just live? We are just a state of approximately, projected. I mean, I can say for sure, of about 6.2 million people. Can we leave ethnicity? Because we are just so... All of us can easily understand just one language. That's the Ibibio. So can we just rise to togetherness? Can we leave biases of gender, of ethnicity, and let's come together? And you can see, as a leader, I must demonstrate that in my approach to development. If you follow the pattern of all the projects I've commissioned or inspected in the past 1 week, it cuts across every single senatorial district in this state.
Regardless of political leaning.
It doesn't matter. I didn't even have any in my own village first. Because you need to actually let people see this. What you're preaching is also what you're doing.
Sorry, Your Excellency. Are the politicians also keen into this philosophy of yours?
That's why I said they are keying in seriously. And they have to. Because you see, if you're a leader and you're trying to lead the people well, I mean, they don't have a choice. They must follow you. Because some people might actually see that where you're going to is the right direction. I mean, there's nobody who will want to fight his brother, except some circumstances will warrant that. But if you let people know that, look, let situation not even arise where that could even come to play, people will follow you. You see, everybody knows what is good and what is bad. It's just the will and the mind's power to actually do it.
I've been looking at, that's not a Dakada philosophy now, but from the revelation you just gave by telling people the amount of money we were losing if we had gone into the palm oil export, business. I'm trying to look at what Akwa Ibom also has. Now is the time for people, they say, better time there's for anyone to invest in so many of our key sectors, if we say we want to diversify the economy. On your own, as the leader of the government here, the governor, how have you been able to say, wait a minute, let's see how we can get into this business? If we can start off a model and lead in the country whereby we say we want to go into huge palm oil business and let people understand that there lies plenty of money in it. What is your government doing in that regard?
Number one, not just palm oil, everything palm.
Everything palm.
I'm interested in. You understand? Raffia palm, palm trees, coconut palm trees as well. During the week, if you may have probably followed our activities a little, I actually did a groundbreaking ceremony of about 11,000 hectares of coconut plantation. I don't know, I can't remember the exact date. Sometime first quarter of this year, there was this documentary on BBC about 15 minutes on what they call the coconut magic. And if you look at the weather, the climate, the soil content, and so on, coconut, the hybrid coconut, can grow without lifting a finger in our place here. And the maintenance is very simple. And the coconut my grandfather planted, people are still harvesting till today. It's still yielding. Check coconut anywhere, except the soil nutrient there is not good. Not to talk of coconut that you're going to maintain. So, and look at, I'm made to understand that coconut has 365 uses. So which means that it is being timed as God's gift to man. But in a country like Nigeria, when we were much younger, we were in school in Lagos, we used to see coconut plantation everywhere. The question is, have we ever made use of it? Have we ever looked at, how can we make this yield better? So we just needed to look at those simple things that won't cost us so much money, but at the end of the day will create so much impact in terms of wealth. So what we are doing right now is, there are disputed areas. I have a disputed land that span about 3 local government areas that can give me 11,000. And my target is to plant 2 million seedlings of coconut in that plantation.
You know, young Nigerians have actually been going into farming. For the young Akwa Ibom youth, good as in today's Children's Day, for those young people who want to go into farming, yes, away from the state government's own business in it, is there a kind of a palliative or for them?
Certainly, I'm coming into that because I'm going to illustrate something to you when you come to that palliative. I wanted to follow through this coconut process. So I acquired 11,000 hectares of land. They were disputed land. I don't need so much in terms of compensation because that's a policy here. 2 communities fight over land, government will take over. And then we produce food to feed you people so that you stop fighting. Because it's only hungry people that go into fighting. So we want to plant 2 million seedlings of coconut there and give us 3 to 4 years. We'll start harvesting. At the same time, simultaneously, you know, I talked about processing. I don't know whether you know that in the entire Nigeria and even West Africa, we don't have even one coconut oil refinery factory. The question is, why do we ignore it? Go to a lot of Asian countries. They are making a whole lot in terms of beauty products, even the coffee mate that you take, if you check it, you have a whole lot of content, something extracted from, even the chaff after extracting the oil. If you know, certain level that you extract the oil from, if you leave it at about 13%, it's so extremely good for piggery. If you drop to about 3%, it's good for poultry. Nothing is wasted in coconut. A whole lot of wealth can be created out of it. And at the same time, the maintenance is so simple and easy. So what we are doing simultaneously, let me quickly get into that. We're also setting up a refinery. And you know, coconut refinery is like, let me take a DC9 and an MD83. You maintain them on the same line. The same line that you're using to extract coconut oil and refine it is the same process without changing even a pan that you use for palm kernel. That's where I was coming about why we've not actually made much over time. That's the same you use for palm kernel oil. And these products have a lot of international market value. So what we are doing quickly is we are setting up that, we've actually made deposit to set up that factory so that even people, all the palm trees you're seeing, once they have where they can go and refine the palm kernel oil, refine the palm oil, and they can now have best in terms of pricing, wealth will easily be created and people will be encouraged to plant more. I think that's the simple logic.